Hi, this is Sharon Stothers, and this is my Earn the Right video. I wanted to speak about my 13 years experience in retail management, and you're probably wondering how that can help me in a classroom. While working in retail management, I was selling a product. It was clothing or it was jewelry. Now, when I'm in a classroom, I will be selling my knowledge so that other people can understand the matrix line. Also, I remember when we were in Florida, you made reference to that I might have to take a client out that might be, let's say, working with another company and using that in their salon. I might have to talk to them to get them to switch over to Matrix. This is actually where I live. This is what I'm good at. I actually find that easier than making this video right now. A very strong mentor of mine when I worked in retail management utilized Zig Ziglar, who is still very well known today as a motivational speaker. He passed away in 2012. She used him a lot in training for our company that we worked for, which was called Brooks Fashions. Zig Ziglar had a saying. He said, "Stop selling and start helping." I understand that because also with Zig Ziglar and learning from my mentor that I really looked up to, she kind of embedded in our heads not to ask open-ended questions. So if you send me out with a customer that you need to switch over to Matrix that, let's say, is with another brand, I will know how to ask questions without asking and get him to talk to me so that I can get him to see that he needs to be with Matrix. I also feel that when you're passionate about something, it's very easy to do. So as long as I become more and more knowledgeable in reference to the Matrix line, I think it's going to be very easy to go into a classroom and explain this, to educate people, and to become more knowledgeable. Working in retail management, along with my district leader, who I admired very much, she taught me a few things about how to teach people and train people. She always said that people learn in different ways, and you have to find out what which way will help them learn. She had a saying that she would ask people if they like to see the ocean, feel the ocean, or hear the ocean. So if you like to see the ocean, that meant that you were a visual person. So that person would be easy to show something to, and that's how they would learn. If someone would like to hear the ocean, that means that they could retain messages through hearing it. And if someone wanted to feel it, that means that they like to be hands-on. And you just need to find that niche to help people to see where they live in reference to those three things. And some people could be a little bit of all three of those. In my retail management experience, I worked for another company called Pennsylvania Fashions. The name of the store that I worked at was called the 999 Stockroom. The store that I worked at, I was noticed in the monthly newsletter quite a bit for apprehending the most shoplifters. I was actually very good at this, and you're probably wondering why I'm mentioning this in my Earn the Right video. In order to be that good at catching shoplifters or apprehending them, I had to learn a lot about body language, and I just had an instinct about how people were thinking or how they were acting. And I feel that that would help me in a classroom because I was very good at that. I'm not even halfway done. I have to be honest with you guys. This is more nerve-wracking to me than managing $1 million store. This is really hard for me. I'm out of my comfort zone. Sometimes I just want to say, just let me go do what I have to do and I'll get the job done. Making this video is very hard for me, but to go sell something to someone is much easier than this is. So on to the next thing. I'm trying to do this without any notes. I also worked for JCPenney's, and also I worked for a nursing home where I had to take care of a lot of older folks, which I love that. I love older people. People don't realize you can learn the most from people that are older. When I worked at Penny's, I was there for probably a year being a hairstylist, And I remember educators coming into the Penny Salon, and there was one that I remember that taught me a lot about the porosity of hair. And I was very intrigued by that because hair color to me, it was hard to understand. You didn't get it in beauty school. You had to keep working at it. And I was becoming very frustrated. And after seeing that educator at Penny's and how she told me that porous hair rejects warm tones and absorbs cool, that was the beginning for me. Then I start understanding a lot more things. Then I start researching things on my own. So I have a compassion about that in reference to, I know that there's a lot of people like myself that have a desire to learn things and they just don't know who to ask and or where to turn to, and they have frustrations. And I know that if there's someone like that educator that I met at Penny's, and hopefully I can be that to somebody else, to someone else, then they will be able to get that moment, that aha moment where something clicks, and that will help them to strive to do better and to find out better ways to become a better stylist or hair colorist. And finally, I have to speak of my last job before I opened my salon. I worked for Smart Styles, the cost cutter division. While I was there, I was consistently the top 5 for hair color sales. And if there were contests in the salon, I usually won them. There were 3 of them that I remember winning. I won a Chi iron, a Chi dryer, and I think a gift card at one time. So I'm also very competitive, and I don't have to be competitive with anyone else. I'm very hard on myself. I'm in competition with myself all the time, always striving to do better. Again, I don't like to fail. So if I see a young person or older person, doesn't matter who they are, if they really want to learn hair color and I see them struggling, I'm going to do whatever I can to help them. And I think all these things that I've spoke to you about, whether it be my years in management, my degree in criminal justice where I have a psychology background, or apprehending shoplifters, reading people's body language, having a compassion for other people, and I also have a lot of integrity. Now I will refer to my notes because this is something Zig Ziglar said. So let me put my spectacles on, and I think this speaks volume. He said, with integrity, you have nothing to fear since you have nothing to hide. With integrity, you will do the right thing, so you will have no guilt. And he also, and I'll say it again, stop selling and start helping. And I think that has a lot to do with if I have a client in the car that I'm trying to switch over to Matrix, or if it's a student in a classroom. So again, please forgive me. Understand that this is out of my comfort zone and this was very hard for me. But if you need me to be in a classroom, or if I have to sell Matrix line to somebody, I'm your girl. That's where I live. That's easy for me. This was very hard. So I hope everybody's having a great day. Critique me if you will. I'm open for suggestions. This is not my strong point. This is not my strong suit, but I'm trying. So again, thank you.